Hi, welcome to S Mathematics. This video subgroups part 3. Here we are going to see union and intersection of subgroups, or otherwise I can say that algebra of subgroups also we can name it. I named it as union and intersection of subgroups. In part 1 we have seen the definition of subgroup and properties of subgroups. In part 2, necessary and sufficient condition for a non-empty subset of a group G to be a subgroup. 4 or 5 necessary and sufficient conditions we have seen, and examples also we have seen. Here, union and intersection of subgroups of a group G. Suppose G is a group. Any group may have more than one subgroup. We have seen in the definition of subgroups. Suppose H1 and H2. These two are the two subgroups of G. What are they? G dot. H1 is one subgroup and H is one subgroup. These are the subgroups of G dot. Now what we are going to say is H1 intersection H2 is also a subgroup with respect to the same operation. We are going to say. Now, in order to say this, we are going to use the necessary and sufficient condition what we have learned in subgroups part 2. That is, if H is a non-empty subset of a G, for every A comma B belongs to H, AB inverse belongs to H, then H is a subgroup of G. That is the necessary and sufficient condition we have learned. That condition here we are using. Now, not only the intersection of two subgroups, if this G is having many subgroups, the intersection of the family of the subgroups will also be a subgroup. That also we are going to see here. Okay. Now see the formal statement. The intersection of two subgroups of a group is a subgroup. If HR, this can also be stated, H1 and H2 are subgroups of a group G, then H1 intersection H2 is also a subgroup of G. See here, you want to show that H1 intersection H2 is a subgroup. In order to show that, you are going to use the necessary and sufficient condition. What is that necessary and sufficient condition? For any A comma B belongs to H1 intersection H2, AB inverse belongs to H1 intersection H2. That is the necessary and sufficient condition. In order to take A and B in H1 intersection H2, you have to confirm yourselves that H1 intersection H2 is non-empty, because you want to select the two elements from H1 intersection H2. In order to select the elements from H1 intersection H2, first you have to confirm yourselves that that set is non-empty. I am saying that H1 intersection H2 is non-empty. Can you expect how it is? It is because H1 dot is a subgroup of G. By definition, subgroup of G means itself is a group. Itself is a group. Itself is a group means there exists identity in H1. So, E belongs to H1. Similarly, there exists identity in H2 also. Is it? There exists H2 also, because H2 is also subgroup. But this E and this E same you have to confirm. How you will say? Because in properties of subgroups you have learned the subgroup and the main group. If H is the subgroup of G, the identity of H and G are the same, you have learned. So here the identity of E and G, H1 is the subset of G, no, subgroup of G. So E is the identity of H and it is also identity of G. So the identity E belongs to G. That is the same. Similarly, E in H2 and G will be the same. Therefore, E in H1 and H2 will be the same, because the subgroup and the main group must have the same identity from the properties of subgroups. Therefore, E belongs to H1 intersection H2. Therefore, H1 intersection H2 is non-empty. Okay, is it clear? Why we are going to say that H1 intersection H2 is non-empty? Why we had to confirm? Because you want to take two elements from H1 intersection H2 in order to apply the necessary and sufficient condition for a non-empty subset to be a subgroup. Is it? Now, see this. Now, because H1 intersection H2 is non-empty, you can take two elements A comma B belongs to H1 intersection H2. What is the definition of H1 intersection H2? That is intersection of two sets. H1 intersection H2 means if X belongs to H1 intersection H2, X belongs to H1 and X belongs to H2 by definition of intersection of sets. That you are using. AB belongs to H1 intersection H2 means A comma B belongs to H1, A comma B belongs to H2. But what is H1? H1 is a subgroup by necessary and sufficient condition for any AB belongs to H1, AB inverse belongs to H1. Therefore, you are having AB inverse belongs to H2. Similarly, A comma B belongs to H2. H2 is a subgroup of G. AB inverse belongs to H2. Therefore, AB inverse belongs to H1 intersection H2 from these two. But where you have taken AB? AB in H1 intersection H2. Therefore, by necessary and sufficient condition, you can say that H1 intersection H2 is also a subgroup. Okay. Now, here if you take two. Now, suppose if I take the family of subgroups H1, H2, H3 and so on Hn if you take. Now, intersection I is equal to 1 to n Hi I can write. This is the intersection of the family of subgroups. Okay. Now, like this, A comma B belongs to, this means A comma B belongs to H1, A comma B belongs to H2, I can write A comma B belongs to H3 and so on, AB belongs to Hn, is it or not? So, AB inverse belongs to H1, AB inverse belongs to H2 and so on, AB inverse belongs to Hn. Therefore, AB inverse belongs to I is equal to 1 to n intersection Hi. Is it? Therefore, the intersection of the family of subgroups of a group is a subgroup. Now, is it clear? Now, move to the union. So, before going to the union of subgroups, whether the union of two subgroups is a subgroup or not, we will discuss. Before going to the discussion, we will see two examples. Now, see here. Now, let 2Z is the subset of Z plus. 3Z, this is also subgroup of Z plus. These are the two subgroups. If you take their union, 2Z union 3Z. 2 belongs to 2Z, 3 belongs to 3Z. 3 minus 2. 2 is an integer. That means n belongs to Z. Is it? Therefore, minus 2 belongs to 2Z. 3 minus 2 is equal to 1. It does not belongs to 2Z union 3Z. So, closure property is not satisfied. So, even though 2Z is a subgroup of Z, 3Z is a subgroup of Z, their union is not becoming a subgroup for Z plus. Now, is it clear? This is one example. See, this is infinite sets. Now, see the finite sets. Now, see, Z6 is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, addition modulo 6 is a group. Let S is equal to 0, 2, 4, T is equal to 0, 3 are subgroups of Z6. Now, I have given the composition table for Z6 in addition modulo, multiplication modulo video. There I proved it is a group. Z6 is a group with respect to addition modulo 6. Now, take the subsets. S is 0 to 4, T is 0, 3. These two are the two subsets of this. With respect to addition modulo 6, whether these two are becoming a subgroups or not, we will see. Now, 0, 6, 0, 2, 4. Now, put the composition table. 0 plus 0 by 6 is 0, because how you have defined A addition modulo MB is equal to R if you write, R is the remainder obtained when A plus B is divided by M. What is R? R is the remainder obtained when A plus B is divided by M. If A plus B is less than M, A plus B can be taken as the value. Okay. Now 0 plus 0 by 6 is equal to 0 because 0 is less than 6. 0 plus 2, 2 by 6, 2 is less than 6, 2. 0 plus 4, 4 is less than 6, 4. Next, similarly 2 and 4. Coming to the last element, 2 plus 4 is 6, 6 by 6, the value is 1, but you are not taking the value. 6 is divided by 6, when 6 is divided by 6, the remainder you have to take, that is 0. Here also, 4 plus 0 by 6, 4. 4 plus 2, 6. 6 by 6, 1 times it will cancel, the remainder is 0, that you are writing. Next 4 plus 4, 8. 8 by 6, 1 times it cancel, 2 is the remainder, that you are writing here. Now, if you observe the body of the table, this is called as the body of the table. If you observe the body of the table, all the entries 0, 2, 4, 2, 4, 0, 4, 0, 2 belongs to S. Now, every row is having additive identity. Therefore, 0 is the additive identity existing. Okay. Next, if you observe 0 is the inverse of 0, 2 is the inverse of 4. How to find out the inverse? Find the identity element in row and from that go to the top of that column and left to that row. Both the head of that column, the head of that row will come inverses to each other. 2 is the inverse of 4, 4 is the inverse of 2. And abelian property, if you draw the principal diagonal, this is 2, 4, this is 2, 4, 0, 0. The elements are positioned symmetrically. Therefore, it is a abelian group. S06, S addition modulo 6, that is S6 is a group. Similarly, T6 is also a group. See, T6 is also a group. Now, see here, T6, that is see here, this is T 03 03 30. This is T T is what? 03. So 0330 if you take, this is also a subgroup. Now S is S6, S addition modulo 6, T addition modulo 6 are subgroups of Z6. If you take S union T, that is 0, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now with respect to modulo 6, if you complete the table, you will get the values like this. These are the values. Okay. 0 plus 0 by 6, 0. 0 plus 2 by 6, 2. 0 plus 3 by 6, 2. 0 plus 4 by 4, 4. Similarly, 2 plus 2, 4, 2. 2 plus 0, 2. 2 by 6 means 2 is less than 6, 2. 2 plus 2, 4. 2 plus 3, 5. 2 plus 4, 6 by 6. The value is 1, you are not taking the value, the remainder you have to take. So, when you divide 6 by 2, 6, the remainder is 0. Similarly, this is 3, 3 plus 2, 5, again 3 plus 3, 6 by 6, 0, 3 plus 4, 7, 7 by 6, if you divide 7 with 6, you will get the remainder 1, that you have written. Similarly, 4 plus 0, 4, 4 plus 2, 6 by 6, 10, 4 plus 3, 7 by 6, 1, 4 plus 4, 8 by 6, 2. Okay, you got the values. Now, if you observe the table, this 5 and this 5 is not in the group. That means all the entries in the body are not belonging to the set. Therefore, it is not satisfying closure property itself. So, S union T is not a subgroup. S is a subgroup, T is a subgroup. But S union T is not a subgroup. That means, if union of two subgroups need not be a subgroup, but sometimes it will be a subgroup. How it is, see as a theorem. Now, see this. Prove that the union of two subgroups of a group G is a group if and only one is contained in the other. Union of two subgroups is a subgroup if and only if one is contained in the other. That means if you take H1 is subgroup of G, H2 is subgroup of G. H1 union H2 is a subgroup if and only if H1 is contained in H2 or H2 is contained in H1. This is the theorem that only helped. H1 and H2 be two subgroups of a group G. Now, we take H1 union H2 is a subgroup of G if and only if H1 is a subset of H2 and H2 is a subset of H1. Suppose H1 is subset of H2 and H2 is the subset of H1. Now you have to prove that H1 union H2 is a subgroup of G. Is it? Suppose H1 is the subset of H2. H1 is the subset of H2. H1 union H2 will be equal to H1. See here. H1 and H2 are the two subgroup of G. H1 union H2 is a subgroup of G. If and only if this we have to prove. You have taken H1 is the proper subset of H2 and H2 is the proper subset of H1. Now what you have to prove? H1 union H2 is a subgroup of G. For that you have taken H1 is proper subset of H2. Then their union will be equal to H2. But what is H2? H2 is a subgroup of G. Therefore their union is also a subgroup. Similarly, H2 is the subset of H1. Union will be equal to H1. H1 is a subgroup. Therefore, H1 union H2 is a subgroup. So, what you are able to say? If H1 is contained in H2 or H2 is contained in H1, H1 union H2 is becoming a subgroup. Now, conversely, suppose that H1 union H2 is a subgroup. Now, what you have to prove? H1 is proper subset of H2 or H2 is a proper subset of H1. This you have to prove. Suppose H1 is not the proper subset of H2 and H2 is not the proper subset of H1. Since H1 is not the proper subset of H2, there exists A belongs to H1 and A does not belongs to H2. H2 is not the proper subset of H1, B belongs to H2 and B does not belongs to H1. Keep these two things in mind. Now what way you are proving? You are proving the theorem in contradictory way. Now you are supposing that what you have to prove is not correct, you are supposing. That is, you have to prove H1 is subset of H2, H2 is the subset of H1. You are taking H1 is not subset of H2, H2 is not subset of H1. H1 is not proper subset of H2 means there exists one element belongs to H1 and that does not belongs to H2. Similarly, there exists one element belongs to H2 and that does not belongs to H1. Okay? But A belongs to H1, B belongs to H2. So, can I say that A comma B belongs to H1 union H2? Yes. A comma B belongs to H1 union H2. But what is H1 union H2? It is a subgroup of G. Since it is a subgroup of G by closure property, AB belongs to H1 union H2. Since AB belongs to H1 union H2, that implies either AB belongs to H1 or AB belongs to H2. If you consider AB belongs to H1 and A belongs to H1, H1 is a subgroup, A inverse also belongs to H1. Now A inverse and AB are belonging to H1. Therefore, A inverse AB belongs to H1. That is, A inverse A is equal to E. That implies B belongs to H1. But where is B? B is not in H1, B is in H2 from hypothesis. You have taken hypothesis here. B does not belongs to H1. But what you got? B belongs to H1. It is not true. Now second case, AB belongs to H2. Now AB belongs to H2 B inverse belongs to H2. So AB B inverse belongs to H2. You will get AE belongs to H2 implies A belongs to H2. But A is not in H2, A is in H1. It is also not true. That means you are getting a contradiction. Contradiction to what? Your assumption. What is your assumption? H1 is not proper subset of H2 or H2 is not proper subset of H1. This is your assumption. For this you are getting a contradiction. Therefore, either H1 is proper subset of H2 or H2 is proper subset of H1. This only you have to prove. Is it or not? Therefore, union of two subgroups will be a subgroup when H1 is a proper subset of H2 or H2 is a proper subset of H1. Now this is one of the important theorem. See here, you will be asked the question in exams like this. Is the union of two subgroups is a subgroup? Justify your answer. Then you have to answer like this. Union of two subgroups is not always a subgroup, but union of two subgroups will be a subgroup if and only if one is contained in the other. Like that you have to write, and you have to give the proof of this theorem, and then with one example, union of two subgroups is not always a subgroup, you have to justify. That is either the first example or the second example you have to give. Now is it clear? With this I am stopping here. Thank you.